Good afternoon, fellow yogis and yoginis. Today we got 4 questions in the English medium. And the first one is, Most Venerable Bhante, I noted an in-breath and observed it as a short intake of air through the left nostril. I noted the out-breath as a short, sharp exhalation of air from the left side of the upper chest. As the session progressed, the manner of breathing remained the same for both the inhalation and exhalation, although the position changed over time. The in-breath moved to an intake of air through both nostrils and later to just the right nostril. The out-breath moved to the center of the chest and later to the right side. I was able to sustain attention on the in-breath and out-breath for the whole session without major distractions. The breath grew fainter towards the end, particularly the in-breath, but it did not become imperceptible. Question 1. Regarding posture. I found my body slumping towards the side from which the breath emanated. As my body hunched further down and sideways, I would reach a point where I slowly move the body upright and to the center. I did not lose focus on the breath. Is it okay to move the body in this way, or is it better to let it go in the direction of the breath? Question number 2. What to do when the breath does not become prominent? Although I meditate regularly, I am new to Anapanasati. In several previous sessions, I have struggled with Thina Middha and other defilements, or have been unable to focus on the breath naturally, as it did not ever become prominent. It felt like I was over-exerting myself and trying too hard, and that my mind was trying to escape the present moment. What should one do if the breath does not emerge naturally as an object on which to focus? With the highest gratitude for your teachings and example. Blessings of the Noble Triple Gem.
Both of them will the natural course. The body may be moving. Don't consider this as me or my or myself. It is kind of a changes happen when and where attention go to this very single tiny thing. The body start natural movements. Don't claim it as mine or don't object it. They are not much significant. As far as the breath is concerned, it's a part and partial of the breath, or one facet of the breath. It is insignificant. Gross and subtle, the subtlety is a one facet. So it is not a distraction, it is nothing to get discouraged. Whenever it is become subtle, only then, or then only, the mindfulness becomes sharp. So you have to, for that one, only thing is go prepared. These are healthy states of the Anapanasati. Go prepared, then alertness will increase, then the Thina Middha will be answered.
Second one for today. Most Venerable Bhante, I do appreciate your guidance to my mindfulness progress. My primary object is mindfulness of respiration. Starting from the gross sensation on nostrils, the breath becomes shallower and observe no sensation on nostrils when time progresses. Then it will be only awareness without being no prominent object observed. Most of the severe bodily pain were gone. I feel comfortable throughout the session. I have developed equanimity towards any conditions that arises on my body and in my mind. However, it has observed nothing happening on my body or in my mind profoundly. Rare thoughts arise and no problem towards awareness. I have just become an observer of just the body. The whole body can be felt and observe nothing new happening rather than just awareness. Dear Venerable Bhante, am I progressing towards the correct direction? Please advise to progress further. Thank you, and I am blessed to be in this retreat. I wish you end of suffering in this very life.
It is a epithet given is a forest pool. When there is no falling of leaves, the pool becomes still. And then the reflection will be undisturbed. So likewise, whenever mind is disturbed, ripples are there. Each and everything is something abnormal. So there is a method by which you can make the forest pool still. But our rational mind never like it. It always wants some dramatic, some tear and wear and tear, some friction. So therefore you can't expect facility from your rational mind. So therefore you have to surrender the rational mind and see when and where there are no objects, still you are aware. That's the only point where you can experience the frictionless path or comfort zone. So it needs some kind of a familiarity. It needs some kind of a preparedness. And once that is being familiarized, you see our rational mind is always asking for trouble, asking for ripples, asking for dramatic. So each and every time you are burning the candle from both the ends. So first and foremost is the giving that situation to the mind. Second thing is familiarizing or seasoning the mind for that. So both are happening now. Continue patiently.
Dear Most Venerable Sir, this one has a title, The Untouchables. I would like to share an experience I had during the last sitting meditation. I came to the hall last minute and tried to settle down. I was still panting because of the brisk walk. Managed bring the focus to the breath, but took a while. Thoughts came as usual and disappeared with the interruption to the observation. Then a thought came up. It's good if I can observe the beginning, the middle, and the end of a pain. This thought came because few sensations started to arise from here and there. I could feel a sharp pain on the top side of the nose. I kept watching this. A drop of sweat started to come down very slowly along the side of the nose. Even though this was such a small matter, the sensation was very sharp. Habit is to wipe it off. Sanya was indicating that this is me and mine. Wisdom smiles and says no and gives strict instructions not to move the hands. It took a couple of minutes to come down. Sharp pain, mild pain, sharp pain went on. The drama was becoming to its best part. The drop came to the edge of the nose. Sanya was playing its role. But hands followed the strict instructions given. No touching, no movement. Gradually the feeling of pain became less and less. Now it's time to celebrate. However, the wisdom arose and said, there is nothing to celebrate. This is also impermanent. Just stay calm. At the end of this drama, my eyes got wet. Spiritual happiness. No other visitors during this session to disturb the observation of the breath. The breath, the friend I have till my death. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. May the blessings of the Triple Gem protect you, Bhante.
So it is called amplification. So when and where your mind is focused to one-pointedness or one point, then it is amplification is so high, even a very tiny little thing make a big show. So you have to understand when and where mind is not amplified, not focused, it see only superficial things. When and where it is focused to go into one point, every tiny bits and tits become very, very prominent and completely new world. So you have to understand this is called what you call the depth of the mindfulness, and sometimes you have the width of the mindfulness. At a time you can have a lot of objects. So these two, the depth and the width, indicate the growth of the mindfulness or growth of the meditation. So you find within your body so much of things you have never touched, you have never observed, because your mind is otherworldly, outwardly. So much so, you will so-called living, but never you love your body. Body will never be your best friend because you wish outside. So when and where mindfulness sets in, or it's called insight, the tiny little things become very, very prominent and amplified, and ultimately you are completely appear like a visitor, a newcomer to your own body. So Venerable Jnananda used to say, I visit myself occasionally in the walking meditation. Go out and again revisit yourself. When and where you revisit, it appears like self-awareness, and each time you see different dimension, different facets. So make it a hobby in such a way so that your body will be your best friend.
Last one for today in English. Dear Venerable Bhante, I had a similar experience as the writer yesterday, and like to mention what I understand at the end. I stand for your correction, dear Bhante. I was at work up in a ladder, my head bent against the ceiling as I was installing something. The phone rang and I answered in that posture. The call was from wife, but son was talking on the other end. Dad, I passed my ICAS exam, scored 97%, and I am in the top 2% in Australia. I said good and well done in a rather bland and a flat voice. When I went home that night, I got an earful from him as to how inconsiderate I was for such an achievement. This prompted me to rethink my attitude towards outer world to avoid causing conflict. I felt it's unfair to treat others the way we feel inside, who is not into Vipassana. With regards to kids, they will soon start to grow up lonely. Like you mentioned, be in their world and get excited on things they would be excited. When somebody serves you a tasty meal and when they expect a comment, give a good one. When at work, work more than you are getting paid for and always try to produce a quality output. This might sound like pretension and laboring. To my understanding, though, when you are with children, giving them attention but watching your mind and be mindful. When served a meal, give the honest opinion. but don't ask for the recipe or whereabouts of its origin. These gestures will amount to giving dana. Our inner opinion may be different to the outer world, but giving in for the benefit or happiness within reason to me is giving. Whichever stage we are at, often we are highly opinionated. Giving that up for even a shorter period for others' sake is dana. This might fulfill our dana parami, if need be, which is much needed in our path. My dear Bhante, I humbly request you to verify the validity of this thought, which itself is an opinion. May the bliss of the triple gem be with you.
In short, my teacher used to say, don't measure the world from your standard. World is a world. You have to understand, whatever the standard you are, when you are dealing with the world, be with common sense. If you lose the common sense, you are in trouble. Even if you are a meditator, even if you are a king. So you must understand where are you and where is the world. And communication, it is not pretension. It's a kind of a strategy. It's a kind of a efficiency. How to deal with other people. So being a monk, it's a real challenge. People expect something out of that, but how much, the way you are behaving to the monk, but to the world, it indicates how much you are earning the seclusion, how much you are earning the peace of mind, and how much you keep the service to the world. It is ever art you have to learn. So basic principle is don't measure the world from your standard.